Yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's going on? So we got Tszyu versus Tony Harrison coming up next. Scheduled for March 12th. It's supposed to be for the interim WBO title at 154. As we all know, JERMELL CHARLO, who is the undisputed champion at 154, was scheduled to defend his mandatory WBO title versus Tszyu over in, I believe it was going to be, was the fight going to be in Australia? I'm not sure if they was going to actually do it in Australia or if it was going to be staged here, being that JERMELL CHARLO is a champion. But of course, it could be some good money with having that fight over in Australia. Nonetheless, JERMELL CHARLO ended up hurting or actually breaking his hand in training camp, getting ready for Tszyu. Now he, has to sit out and heal up. Tony Harrison is getting an opportunity now to step in and fight Tszyu. Is not like a last minute replacement. He's actually gonna get a full camp, which is great. That's, out of all this news, that's, in my opinion, that's like the best part of it, because a lot of times you see situations like this, where guys have to come in last minute and the fight date is still that date. With this, JERMELL CHARLO getting injured, what was that? 3 weeks, maybe like a month, 3 weeks or a month before the actual fight date, which was ideal for the guy that's coming in. And, with Tony Harrison being a former world champion, the only guy that ever defeated JERMELL CHARLO on paper, very controversial decision in that fight, in that first fight with JERMELL CHARLO. But on paper, he got the victory with him having the credibility that he has as a fighter, as a trainer, very well respected fighter. And I think as he continues to, gain more experience and get more fights under his resume as a full-time trainer, he's currently the trainer of unified champion Alicia Baumgartner. I think he'll continue to be an even better trainer, maybe even better than he is as a fighter. You know what I'm saying? So highly respected guy, Tony Harrison. And he's about his business. He'll step in and take fights. That's just the type of guy that he is. It's just how he built. And they respected him. They gave him a full camp. They pushed the date back from the original January date with JERMELL CHARLO, pushed it back so he can so they can do it in March, and Tony Harrison can get a full count. And this is going to be a real legit fight. It's a very meaningful fight for both guys. Number one, for Tszyu, you win this fight, you stay on path to your opportunity for a world title versus JERMELL CHARLO, the undisputed champion. This could be a roadblock for Tszyu. This could, if he loses this fight, this could throw him off that path. This could drop him way down on that ladder from getting his opportunity at becoming a world champion. For Tony Harrison, the first fight with JERMELL CHARLO, very competitive. He won a controversial decision, gave JERMELL CHARLO his first and only loss. Second fight, Tony Harrison was looking good as well. JERMELL CHARLO, in my opinion, looked better than he did the first fight. In the second fight, knocked Tony Harrison down in the second round, ultimately stopped him in, I believe, the 10th or the 11th. Tony Harrison started to get a little bit too loose, started to celebrate a little bit too much, started feeling himself a little bit too much, man. And I had JERMELL CHARLO up on the cards in that second fight at the time of the stoppage. So ultimately, I feel like he would have got the victory anyway. Nonetheless, it was one of the best fights that I've seen in the last 5 years. Very competitive fight, and the build-up to it was phenomenal. So people are interested genuinely in a trilogy with JERMELL CHARLO and Tony Harrison. So this is a great opportunity for Tony Harrison to make that case for him to get that third fight with JERMELL CHARLO, an opportunity to resurrect his career and get back to the top by becoming undisputed at 154, which in my opinion is still one of the toughest divisions in boxing because everybody's fighting everybody. You know what I'm saying? Ain't too many places where you can sneak and hide and run at 54 because it's real dogs there and everybody's mixing it up in the competition. So that would be huge for Tony Harrison, which could open up bigger fights, maybe even a 4th fight with JERMELL CHARLO if he was able to get that fight and then win, become undisputed. So it's a lot on the line in this match. And I don't think Tszyu is going in this fight looking at Tony Harrison because he's an older guy, because he, has taken losses. He's been stopped multiple times. I don't think he should go into that fight looking at it like it's a tune-up, because the same Tony Harrison is very much so capable of beating Tszyu. I think he's the more skilled boxer. He's the just the more experienced fighter. He's gonna be the bigger guy. He's longer, rangier. I think he has higher boxing IQ. Now, Tszyu has youth on his side. I think he has maybe the punching power edge. They might even be even on punching power, because people don't realize that Tony Harrison is a very hard puncher himself. Before he started to get in the ring with the Jarrett Hurds, the JERMELL CHARLOs. Before he started to really get in the ring with those guys, I mean, he was putting shit to sleep with, one shot. Tony Harrison was actually known for his power early on in his career. Now, of course, you fight in lesser competition, but if you go back and watch those fights, the dude can crack. You know what I'm saying? So I think punching power, they might be even, but if I had to give the edge to anybody, it would be Tszyu. Tszyu got, he got the undefeated factor on his side. That could be something that works to his advantage. He don't know how to lose yet, or it could work to Tony Harrison's advantage. The fact that he's already taken a loss and he felt like he got nothing to lose, so he'll go out there and put more on the line and go for the gusto. So this fight is very interesting for a lot of reasons. Both guys have so much at stake, and I think it's an evenly matched fight skill-wise when you take into account that Tszyu got the youth and he's undefeated, and he's, probably at this point in his career stronger than a Tony Harrison physically. And you have a Tony Harrison who is the more experienced guy, who's more battle-tested, who ain't really got nothing to lose, and a very skilled guy himself. I believe this fight is something that could open up more opportunities for everybody at 154, because that takes me to what's next for JERMELL CHARLO. Does he sit out? And of course he got to heal up. That's the first order of business. He got to get his hand right. He got to heal up. But once he heals up, this fight is supposed to be in March. I would expect JERMELL CHARLO to be some level of healthy by the end of February, beginning of March. If that's the case, does he start to go into negotiations with maybe a Sebastian Fundora, who is also at a number 1 position for one of JERMELL CHARLO's belts? I believe he would be number 1 for either the WBC or the WBA. Tszyu right now is the mandatory for the WBO. You dig what I'm saying? So, should he go into talks with maybe setting up a big fight, defending his titles versus Sebastian Fundora, and then on the back end of that, fight the winner of Tszyu and Tony Harrison? I think that's a great setup. It's a big, I ain't even gonna say a big money fight, but it's definitely a fight that you could sell for JERMELL CHARLO. I think that fight does really good numbers as far as just, he'll be able to get a bag. It's a fan-friendly fight, action-packed. Stylistically, it makes for a great fight. It's a challenge because it's two. You got an undefeated fighter like Sebastian Fundora, who's hungry, who's looking to take his game to the next level. You got the undisputed champion in JERMELL CHARLO taking on a young, unique talent and challenge like Sebastian Fundora. Him being 6'5", 6'6", at 154, very unique, almost unheard of. You dig what I'm saying? So I think that'll be a good look for JERMELL CHARLO, and I think it would behoove him to go ahead and get in there with Sebastian Fundora right now, while you got everything on your side, advantage-wise, and while Sebastian Fundora is still trying to figure some shit out. I think he still got some stuff to work on, so I think it'll make sense for JERMELL to go ahead and get in there with him right now, and put them hands on him. You dig what I'm saying? But I think Sebastian Fundora would be tough for anybody to beat. But does he just sit out and, heal up, and then once March 12th hits, the fight is done, Tim Tszyu wins or Tony Harrison, whoever it may be, does he go directly after him, after the winner of that fight? And then, go ahead and defend that, put that WBO belt on the line as far as like mandatory. Of course, all the belts on the line, but go ahead and satisfy that WBO mandatory, or maybe he opens up another option for, a top guy in a division. But I think at this point, with him being undisputed, he's going to have so many different obligations like the WBO, he has a WBA mandatory as well. A guy that took step aside money to allow him to take that those 2 fights with Brian Castano for undisputed. So JERMELL CHARLO definitely has options, but I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about this fight, about this matchup with Tim Tszyu and Tony Harrison, and what does that mean for JERMELL CHARLO? What do you think he does? Does he just sit back and wait on the winner, or does he go straight into negotiations with Sebastian Fundora? I think that's a great fight. And the winner out of those 2 fights, they meet up, man, and, get that shit popping at 154. Even though we already know who the best at this point is, one face, one name, one champion, JERMELL CHARLO, one of the most dominant fighters in the sport. Even though we already are at that point, I think this could kind of reinvigorate that division, give it a recharge, kind of set up like a tournament style type of thing. You got, 4 of the top fighters in the division all vying to, JERMELL CHARLO looking to maintain his status as number 1 and a pound for pound king and undisputed champion, one of the most dominant fighters in the sport. And you got these other guys. You still got Erickson Lubin. You know what I'm saying? Who y'all know I'm a huge fan of Erickson Lubin. You still got him vying for an opportunity. And then you got these young guys, Earl Spence looking to have his next fight at 154 versus Keith Thurman. Who knows if he stays there and campaigns or if he drops back down for a possible Terrence Crawford fight at 47. It's a lot of shit that's going to be happening at 154 over this year and then over the next couple of years. And I think this is a pivotal moment. So y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. Contender Regime Boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.